Make sure you take a long-term focus when looking after your clients. Clients should look for that, advisors should look for that too.
So Spencer, as a professional expat like myself from the UK here in Switzerland, what should I look out for? Where should I go?
It all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for financial advice and long-term financial planning products, then make sure that you're dealing with somebody who's qualified. Let me give you an example. If you were back in Wales, dealing with a financial advisor in Wales, you wouldn't think twice about their qualifications or regulations. You'd think that they were qualified to UK standards, and you'd probably assume that would be the case. Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so over here it's a little bit different because you aren't dealing with advice based around the rules of the UK. We're in another country, and so we've got the rules of this country. So if I was getting advice here, I'd want to be getting advice from someone who was qualified here to give advice, because it's the advice that you get that you need to have from a qualified person. If they're not, then it's just words, isn't it?
So why does it differ being a Swiss resident getting advice here in Switzerland to being an expat getting advice here in Switzerland?
Okay, so a Swiss resident, just like I explained with you with Wales, a Swiss resident would have exactly the same situation. I'm Swiss, I deal with a qualified, experienced, regulated advisor here in Switzerland. I'm now Swiss and I'm living in, I don't know, Brazil. What are the rules in Brazil? Well, maybe the rules aren't as strong, maybe the regulation isn't as good. So do you come back to Switzerland to get your advice, or do you deal with a local advisor over there in Brazil and take the advice from them? Well, only you can make that decision. Maybe the advice is going to be great quality, but how do you make that decision? The first place you've got to go from is qualifications. Second place you've got to go from is the regulation. And then the third place you have to go from really is speaking to some existing clients of that particular advisor to see whether they can recommend his services to you.
And what are the risks there? What are the risks of, say, going back to your home that you have the citizenship? What problems lie there?
Well, if I was to take advice overseas and then return to the UK and talk to an advisor in the UK, and the advisor heard the advice I got, and that advice wasn't good advice, it was bad advice, what could he do about it?
Nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing he can do about it. He's stuck because he's hearing that I've got advice from another country. However, if I'd taken advice from a UK advisor in the UK, the advice hadn't been very good, I then met with another advisor in the UK and showed him the problem, the situation, I'm sure there's a lot more that could be done about it.
So what are the telltale signs that someone should look out for as a customer and as a client?
Telltale signs: always make sure that you're dealing with somebody that first of all can be recommended to you, secondly has a long-term interest in looking after your finances, someone who's interested in building a long-term relationship, genuinely, and I mean that, because a lot of the products that we deal with are long-term products. Retirement planning, when you're dealing with life insurance, critical illness insurance, all these types of things are long-term products. So Make It Happen as a business is busy training people to understand if you're going to work in the industry, you're going to get qualified and you're going to be good at what you do, then make sure you take a long-term focus when looking after your clients. Clients should look for that, advisors should look for that too.
So Spencer, finally, how does Make It Happen help?
Well, Make It Happen is a business that's been established to help train and develop performance coach, essentially, financial advisors and salespeople around the world. For me, it was really important after being in financial services for 25 years that I was able to share the skills and experience that I had to new people coming through, but also old hands, experienced people that maybe knew what they were doing but had learned some bad habits or some new tricks that weren't working in their favor. And as a business, that's what we do. We get out there and we train people. So we do train people one-to-one, we train people in groups, and we train people in conference environments as well. But it's really teaching people the skills that they need to become efficient financial advisors, successful salespeople, and number one, making sure they put their client first.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your insights.
Pleasure.
That's all for myself and Spencer, but if you did like this video, do like and comment on dukascopy.tv.